Welcome back to a music production tutorial. In this video, we'll be looking at Studio One. What is it, and how can you use it to create your own compositions? First of all, what is Studio One? Well, Studio One is a kind of DAW or digital audio workstation, which is used by industry professionals to create original compositions. It can be used to edit audio, edit sounds, create sounds, or mix and master. We'll be going into more of this in detail in future videos. However, for this episode, we'll be looking at creating a basic song within Studio One. To begin, you'll want to open Studio One, as you can see in here. This is your home screen. You'll be able to open songs and create new ones from here. To start, simply click Create a New Song. You'll see that this window comes up. When you're naming your songs, make sure you name them something that will be recognizable. Simply a song title like a date stamp won't do in the case of many songs. For this, we'll be naming it Music Production. As you can see, when you click enter, this window will appear. This is called your editor. In this window, you'll see all of your tracks when you add them. As well as this, a mix pane will be available. But to begin, we simply want to start adding our tracks. Beforehand though, make sure you have your tempo or your BPM set to the correct tempo. For this song, we'll be doing 87 BPM. So you just want to click on your tempo and type in 87 and press enter. This will set your tempo. Now we want to begin adding our songs, our tracks rather. And this is a really easy process. You'll simply want to go down to your file editor or your finder, and we want to click on our hip hop beat. And to add it, we simply just want to drag it. You'll see that it appears up here. Just release, and there it is. Now, to play this, we want to press this button down here to take our playhead back to the start. And then to play it, we just press the play button or space on your keyboard. And there's our hip hop beat. The next thing we want to do is add in our MIDI keys or our MIDI chords. Now, you could be creating these yourself. If you're creating these yourself, they'll appear in your editor window. However, for this version, we'll be adding them in from a file. Once again, go to your file editor, find your MIDIs under MIDI chords, and simply drag them in. You'll see that they'll pop up, and in order to edit them, simply double click. As you can see, they've now appeared. If we press play now, you'll see that when the playhead runs over these bars, or the chords, it doesn't make any sound. Now that's because we haven't assigned an instrument, and it's really easy to assign an instrument. Simply go up to Instruments, click on this, and as I say in the case of any chords or any new notation added, start with a grand piano. You'll be able to hear the sounds much easier. You can type in piano into the search function for easier access. And we're just going to add a grand piano. To add this, simply drag it over to the instrument and drop it on top. Now, we can hear it. So if we want to hear this track now, we can hear it individually by pressing the solo button. This plays just the track that you're working on, not the whole lot. This is great in the case of multiple tracks. So we'll click this, take our playhead back to the start, we can hear these. But did you notice how there was a bit of space before the track? Now we don't need that, so we can use something called the slice tool. This is a tool up here, or for easier access, it's number 3 on your keyboard. You want to select this, come down to your track, and you just want to click to remove a section. We're just going to remove it at the start of the chords. As you can see, it's created a gap or a split in between the tracks. To remove the excess, you'll simply want to go back to your select tool, or number 1, click on the tool, on the track rather, and press backspace. This will delete it. Now, to make sure that we can actually edit our pieces in synchronization, we want to drag this back to the start of the playhead. Now that we've got this, we just want to use these first 3 chords, so we can trim it once again with number 3 or the slice tool at the end. Make sure you leave a gap to avoid any artifacts. Studio One also has a handy snap tool, which is up here, so make sure that's engaged before you start snipping, as this will make sure all your tracks are snapped to bar lines. To remove the excess, we'll press backspace. Now go back to your number 1 select tool. Now that we're here, we simply want to go ahead and move our tracks around. If we come into this window, we can come back to here, unsolo this so we can hear all of our tracks, and press play. We might want to add a second one of these. In order to create multiple of the same track, you can simply duplicate. Now you can right click and go Event, Duplicate, or it's also D on your keyboard. We'll use D for now. Now, if we come back to here, we want to make sure that these are aligned with our bar lines. In the editor, you can see that there's some slightly more prominent lines. These are actually your bar lines. Now, when you're editing, make sure that the start of your track aligns with the start of your bar lines typically, although this may change for some other pieces. If we play this now, I want to leave a bit of a gap, so we can do that. Now if we play it back, and that's a really simple way of creating a track. If we were to then go and adjust volumes, you want to open your mix window. Your mix window is just down here. We could do it here. Now, in this instance, we're using the PreSonus FaderPort 16 control surface. However, you can use your mouse. This is just dragging. And it works the same way on the control surface. You can see I'm not actually using my mouse, but I can still drag them on the FaderPort. In your instance, though, you may not have access to this, so your mouse works just fine. Finally, we might want to add an effect. These effects could be a loop, which is a reoccurring series of sounds, which can be put in a looping pattern, or it could be a one-shot. A one-shot is, in the name, a one-shot thing like a crash, a snare, or any other electronic effect. What we actually want to do is to go to our loops, and as you can see, there's a heap of things here. If we go into our drums section, you can see there's quite a lot of stuff here. We can try some by pressing the play to preview the sound. There's a lot of claps. We might want to use this clap, so all you do is drag it. As you can see, it's been added into a track. Now, if we play this back, you'll hear the following. We might want to duplicate this. And as you'll see, Studio One has a very handy bar snap tool embedded. So we can duplicate this multiple times. If we play this back, now certainly this isn't the most glamorous song creation. However, this is a basic. You can take your skills from here and create something quite phenomenal. And the best part about it is it's a very easy to use solution. Now we'll be creating more videos in the future about how you can create more advanced songs, creations, and other more advanced techniques for creating those actual pieces. For now though, use this information to play around, have some fun, and enjoy Studio One 4.